right, this is me, bitch ass mofo. And today gonna do something a little different. Was watching that Barry rant video back and I had a lot of fun making it, and I kind of don't totally hate how it came out. My thoughts are really disorganized, but the video was fun to make. And you know what? Fuck it. It's my channel. I'll do long, unscripted tangent rant videos if I want. And if nobody watches them, I don't really mind, to be honest. I'm doing it for me. So, today I wanted to talk about one of the best Batman shows ever made, bar none. The Batman 2004. Very underrated Batman show because everybody talks about Batman Beyond and TAS. We don't need to mention those. And New Batman Adventures, if you want to count that as a separate show. And a lot of people don't talk about like Beware the Batman, but from what I've seen, Beware the Batman isn't like on the level of this one. And the Brave and the Bold is even getting a bit more recognition, which it deserves. Fucking finally, that show's been good. I don't know why it took people so long to realize it, but nobody ever talks about this show, and it's pretty damn good for what it is. It has so much going for it. I love it. Reimagines a lot of the characters. Some of them work, some of them don't. The action scenes were all amazing. I love Reno What's His Ass as Batman. I love most of the voice cast. Honestly, the voice cast was kind of just nothing but hits across the board. I like how they handle the sidekick characters. There's so much about the show I like. I am biased because it's my childhood Batman show. I grew up watching it, but I just finished a rewatch of it like 2 days ago, and it's absolutely still holds up. Not everything about it works every episode, but the quality across the board and the atmosphere they created was amazing. The main problem with the show was that they were really concerned with the toy sales. This was still that era of like kids TV where the toy sales were the main concern, and you could tell with some of these goofy ass designs, but some of them actually worked for me. So today I just wanted to go and give my quick thoughts on every single episode of the Batman 2004 and kind of give it the respect it deserves while these episodes are still fresh in my mind. Some of them are already blurry because obviously I didn't binge it at all. But here we go. We're just going to go one episode at a time and give my quick thoughts on them. And we can organize, we can like, maybe it'll be coherent by the end. Here we go. This is going to be long, so let's just start. I have the Wikipedia page open here, just so I can remember what happens in all the episodes. So, episode 1, this is the one where the introduction of Batman as well as the Joker. This one is fine, so let's address the elephant in the room, that Joker design. I don't really hate anything about it except that his feet are out. A lot of people absolutely despise this Joker design and list it as one of the reasons this show sucks. But if you actually like look at it, like first of all, the hair, it's supposed to be a jester's hat, guys. It's not like dreads or whatever. It's supposed to be a fucking jester's hat. Okay, does it look a little dumb? Sure, but you can clearly see what they were going for. And then if we move past the design, this version of the Joker is actually really good. He brings some of that Silver Age energy with like the pranks and like the crimes that he commits being all kind of goofy on their face, but then he also has that sinister, like modern Joker undertone where like the shit he's doing to people is just genuinely horrific. Like the portrayal of the Joker gas, what he does to Ethan Bennett later. It's all really good stuff. And whenever he fights Batman, it's some of the most interesting shit in the show because, as we'll see with the rest of these episodes, every character can throw hands in this show. Literally all of them. Which is a decision that I'm sure not everybody was a fan of. Like, it's weird seeing the Penguin. Well, we'll get to him. And of course, he gets packed up by a guy named Dave, but we'll get to him. We'll absolutely get to him. So, that's episode 1. I thought it wasn't too bad. It was a good establishing episode for what the relationship will be going forward. The only thing is, this has the worst look of the Joker on the show that they eventually just stopped trying to bring it back, which is the straight jacket. Holy shit. I don't hate this design for the Joker, except that his gross ass feet are out, but that straight jacket is not it. As soon as they introduced the purple suit, It's a lot more tolerable. Next episode. This is the Penguin introduction episode. Nothing really wrong with this one. We get some fun Alfred moments, which is always good. And I love this version of the Penguin. Tom Kenny is just perfect casting. You can tell this is where his Ice King was born. Like, he's channeling the exact same energy when he voiced Ice King later on in Adventure Time. But he is just so fucking good and funny as the Penguin. And I love this version of the Penguin, okay? Not every reimagining of villains was perfect for this one, but I was always more of a fan of the thief Penguin than the boring crime boss Penguin. And fucking, they did it so good, bro. I need some like chill beats to relax study too if I'm gonna do this. This is gonna take so long because I don't know how to shut the fuck up. Chill beats, relax, study too. This is gonna take so fucking long. Here we go. Oh hell no! I forgot to install uBlock on this browser. Oh hell no! I'll edit this out. Don't worry. Oh my god. Everybody having a good day? Go. Fuck out of here. Alright. So that's episode 2. Nothing really wrong with it, and it introduces a great recurring villain. They used him a lot in season 1 and 2. It actually kind of became a problem how much they used the Joker and Penguin, but whatever. Episode 3. This is the B.A.M episode. This is not the most offensive version of Bane out. This is not the most offensive version of Bane out there. This is like an okay version of Bane. And it's an okay episode. They tried to do the Nightfall story, but they did it in like a really child-friendly way. But it still kind of worked for me. But Bane's a fucking idiot for not finishing off Bruce when he had him dead to rights. But you know, that's just a kid's show thing. You know, that happens all the time where they could have just killed the hero and they just walk away for no reason. And the Batbot was cool. The Cat and the Bat. This is the Catwoman introduction, another great one. Catwoman, this version of Catwoman I actually love. I don't love her design, like the weird bat ears is kind of whatever. But the character herself, her characterization is basically perfect on this show. They nail her. And so usually if an episode heavily features Catwoman, it's one of the best episodes. And that's one of the things I don't like about the later seasons. They stopped using her as much. So yeah. Also, her Selena Kyle alter ego, pretty hot. Anyway, next one. The Man Who Would Be the Bat. This is the Man Bat episode. This one is whatever for me, mostly because they start doing Batman tazzing it up, having him have this like sympathetic origin story, but then like 5 minutes after, he's talking about, I'm trying to use the bat shit to cure my daughter's deafness. But then like 5 minutes later, he's like, it's revealed that that's actually bullshit. So it's like, why did we even waste time on that, you know? And that's one thing about the villains compared to like the other Batman shows. Maybe that's why people don't like this one as much, is that most of them are not nearly as sympathetic. Like, there's exceptions, obviously, we'll get to them, but most of the villains are kind of just bad, and they don't even really explain why. Some of them don't even really have proper origin stories, which is like very not like Batman Taz, where almost every villain had an origin story. And a little, and it's just like, you know, it's not that serious. I'm trying to find like a good, I don't know how loud it is for people compared to me. I don't want it to be louder than my voice. Oh Jesus, no, I'm not re-recording this shit. This is one take and one take only. My unfiltered thoughts. Should have thought all this through before I started recording. Too late now. All right. That one's fine. The Big Chill. This is the Mr. Freeze episode, and this is where one of the reimaginings that didn't work for a lot of people, and honestly is not as good, because they, amazingly, this is one of the only series since Batman has reimagined Mr. Freeze that didn't go with the Nora Freeze origin and actually went back to his origin as a generic thief. With the only twist this time being that Batman is kind of indirectly responsible for the accident that turned him into Mr. Freeze. So he feels really guilty about that, and that's what they focus on in this episode. But then after they dropped the whole Batman being guilty about Mr. Freeze thing for his repeated appearances, he just became really boring. but I don't hate his design. Like, honestly, like this design is fine to me. A lot of people don't like it or think it's too much or whatever, but I kind of think it's cool. No pun intended. But everything else about him, like, he's just lame. He still makes the ice puns, but now there's just nothing to the character. But he does show up in one of the rawest episodes of the show later, so. I did not realize it was the Big Chill and the Big Heat. This is the Firefly episode, I believe. And Firefly, any episode that heavily features him is going to be one of the best episodes, honestly. I love Firefly on the show. This is probably the best version of the character to me. And he's just so fun. I love the sound his jetpack makes. And Batman having to make his own jetpack just to match him was cool. That was fun. Q&A. This is the Clue Master episode. This is kind of a fucking weird one. It's crazy that not only did they use Clue Master at all, but they used him way before Riddler. I don't think Riddler shows up until season 2, which is hilarious. Other than that, I don't have that much to say. Clue Master is kind of like, his design is. Let's just show you. His design is. Holy shit. They went for it. And honestly, they made a version of Clue Master that isn't completely just boring and a Riddler knockoff. So I respect them just for that. But other than that, not much to say about it. The Big Dummy. This is the ventriloquist first appearance, and I liked him on the show a lot. They basically got the character basically perfect. I liked the minions, the henchmen. The addition of them was really smart to show you, like, what is mentally going through people's minds when they team up with people like Ventriloquist and Scarface or the Joker. Well, we get some insight into that. It doesn't make a lot of sense why they follow him, but they follow him. That's the important thing. Oh my god, hold on. Oh, hold on. Give me one. Oh. Yep. I'm gonna need some water if I'm gonna keep doing this. We got like so many more of these. Oh yeah, that tastes like metal. That tastes like metal. Alright. Topsy-Turvy. Oh, this is the one where the Joker escapes and turns everybody into playing cards. This one's fun. This is before they started overusing the shit out of the Joker and Penguin, so this one's fun. He turns people into playing cards. Funniest shit I ever seen. Next is the Penguin second episode. Oh, you know what happens in this one? This is the one where the TV crew is there, and you know what happens in this one? I need to find it. Hold on. If I can find this. Holy shit. Please let me find this. Because this... Please let me find this shit. No, this isn't the one I was looking for. Here it is. We don't need to watch the whole fight. There's just one part I'm looking for. Batman cannot let the host find out about this one, bro. Because I love this version of the Penguin, bro. Oh, it was. Oh fuck! I can't find it. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Hang on, we'll watch this. What is this? Seriously. The Penguin can box on the show, by the way. Like, he pulled up, even without his, like, super assassin girls or whatever. He absolutely pulled up. So, Batman's fighting the Penguin. He's clearly struggling. He's clearly using 100% focus. And look how this man Penguin had Bruce laid out. Out fucking cold, by the way. And then look at this. It's like, there's a time skip. It's like 20 minutes later. He's still out cold. And then they start touching his face. They start touching his mask. He's still laid out. This cannot go on Batman's permanent record. The hoes cannot find out about this one because his career is over if they do. He got laid the fuck. Like, let's play that back. Let's play that back if we can find it. Let's play that the fuck back. Watch how this man Penguin had him laid out. Yeah, no, this was never mentioned again either. And then after this, the Penguin never scraps like that again. But in this instance, he one punch man Bruce. So that's my takeaway from that episode. The final fight after that is pretty sick too, on the roof. Holy shit. Anytime, any episode with the Penguins hype. And this is the two-parter, the Clayface two-parter. I have mixed feelings on this one because I like the idea of Ethan Bennett being a good guy turned bad guy, but then like they kind of fell back on the because he's crazy explanation with the Joker putty like turning him crazy or whatever, which I thought was lame. Like you could have come up with a more psychological reason why this gentleman completely went nuts and turned into a full-fledged fucking criminal. There's also the fact that he's going after a lot of people criticize the fact that he goes after the police chief in this episode instead of the Joker, who's the one who's actually responsible for turning him into Clayface. But honestly, it didn't bother me after watching the whole series because he does eventually go after the Joker. He even makes it his main goal to take down the Joker later on. It's just that the Joker was already in jail, so the police chief was the one who was, nearby and needed that retribution. So this one is alright. It's pretty good. I do like the ending a lot. That's just that shot of, he could be anywhere. Zoom out to this city. It's fucking amazing, dude. Let's see. This is the one where Catwoman and Penguin team up. This one is fine. It's pretty fun. We get Batman and Catwoman working together to take down Penguin in the end, and it's really fun. But they don't do as much with it as they would have liked. Like, there's a fight scene where they're handcuffed together and they have to fight the Penguin girls. Whatever the fuck, the Kabuki twins. I'm just gonna call them the Penguin girls. And it's like, this could have been a lot cooler. They don't really do that much with the fact that they're handcuffed together. And then, I don't know, it just ends, and it's kind of whatever. Then Riddled, this one I love. Honestly, this version of the Riddler, like, his design, his weird Marilyn Manson-ass design. Okay. No, I'm not a fan. But literally everything else about this version of the Riddler, like his voice, his mannerisms, his crazy-ass plans, the episodes that feature him, like everything else about this version of the Riddler, to me, was basically perfect. And I love this one. It's just such a fun dynamic. I like how Riddler knew the whole time that Batman was helping her, because, yeah, you're not going to fool him like that. He's fucking Edward Nigma, bro. He's the Riddler. That's my guy. Fire and Ice, this is the Mr. Freeze and Firefly team up. This was weird only because the episode is fine, but we don't have a scene of them really working together. Like, they take turns fighting Batman, and I feel like the main appeal of the episode would be a 2v1 them versus Batman, seeing how their powers interact with each other. But we never really properly get that, so kind of meh. But the fights were still cool. There's a fight between Batman and Mr. Freeze in the middle of the episode that's really sick. Like, the fights on this show just generally are fucking sick, man. The best is yet to come. The Laughing Bat, this is one of the best episodes of the show. This is the one where the Joker infects Batman with a poison that starts to turn him into the Joker, while the Joker is dressing up like Batman and pretending to be him. It's so fucking funny. It's an absurd premise. It's actually like there's a scene that had me laughing out loud where they parody the fucking Batman Sentai transformation sequence with the Joker. That shit was gold. And the fight at the end between the Joker, Penguin, and Batman is incredible. Like, that is an amazing fight. Like, where did they get this animation budget, bro? Some of the fights were on another level in the show. So I love this one. This is one of my top episodes. Swamped. Here we go. Oh, this is the Killer Croc debut episode. This one is fine. This one is structurally kind of weird because there's like a fight at the end that lasts like 8+ minutes, which is like uncharacteristically long for this show. But seeing him just scrap with Killer Croc was fucking cool. Like, the way that he just kept getting back up and the way he finally figured out how to beat Killer Croc in the end was also really cool. So yeah, no real complaints. It's a good one. I like this version of Killer Croc. I like his design. I like how he's southern. That's fucking cool. He just has a southern drawl and like talks about the bayou and shit. You know, nothing wrong with it. Look at this ugly ass toy. Jesus Christ. So yeah, nothing to complain about. Although it is kind of weird that he has a tail like the lizard from Spider-Man, but whatever. Next is the one where he could takes over Man-Bat's mind. This one is alright. It's kind of funny seeing Penguin getting really cocky and then getting humbled. But then it doesn't really pay off in a big way. He doesn't even get retribution that hard. And then Man-Bat, as just generally, I don't really like Man-Bat out that much on the show. His design is cool, but like that's it, bro. Like his design is cool, but you know, and then the Dr. Langstrom design is kind of whack. But this shit is raw. So I don't love Man-Bat on the show, so I can take this one or leave it. Meltdown. Oh fuck. Oh, yes. This is the one where Ethan Bennett just commits to being a crime guy. And this one is probably the worst Clayface centric episode to me. Just because no, it's not the worst. It's good, but like it feels like they needed another two-parter to really sell me on this idea. Because I like the idea of him trying to do better, but society just won't let him. It's like, no, you were a bad guy, you're a bad guy, and that's all you'll ever be. That's always a fun idea. But they explore it decently. But then it kind of goes back to the. Honestly, everything about it was fine until the last 5 minutes where he's just like, nope, I'm just. Fuck it. If I can't be a good guy in society, I'm just going to be a full on fucking criminal. Yeah, no, there's a worse Clayface episode yet to come. But I did not like that conclusion to this episode. I feel like it would make more sense for him to just run away at first and maybe something happens. Like they needed one more episode to really complete this character arc. But it feels like we skipped over a lot here. It feels like the jump from I can't be a good guy to I should just be a full-on bad guy who steals from people and endangers people happens too quick. So here's where we start getting the back-to-back Joker episodes. This one is fine. Cash Tankinson, or whatever the fuck his name is funny, but he doesn't really do jack shit in this episode other than just say his name a bunch of times and like be comedic relief. There is an episode later where that's loud, where he does get to do stuff. But for this one, he's just kind of there, and other than that, it's pretty forgettable. Now this is one of the best episodes of this entire show. Like these season 1 and 2 episodes, most of them were hits, and some of them were 10 out of 10 out of the park hits. And this one is incredible, just for no reason other than, well, the characters are all fun. It's Batman, Catwoman, and Ragdoll. They're all a lot of fun to watch on screen, and how they interact with each other is amazing. But that final fight in the clock tower, where it's all three of them squaring off against each other, that is one of the best fights on the whole fucking show, and there's some stiff competition. So this episode kicks ass. If for no reason than the final fight alone, I could rewatch that shit. Go watch it if you haven't. This is the Spellbinder episode where Spellbinder is hypnotizing the butlers. This one is fine. It's cool to see a Batman Beyond, or a character that's primarily known for being from Batman Beyond. I have no idea if that's his origin. Show up. His design is kind of weird, and just him in general doesn't quite fit in with this show. Yeah, this is what he looked like on Batman Beyond. This is what he looks like in this show. Like they really went for it with his design, and it doesn't really work for me. I don't really like it, and I don't really like this version of Spellbinder compared to Batman Beyond. But it's just really hard to beat the Batman Beyond one because that one's fucking amazing. Grundy's Night. This is the worst Clayface episode for a few reasons. One, Ethan Bennett goes from, I should be a crime guy to, I'm going to destroy people's entire livelihoods just to make some money. Way too fast. I know time passes between these episodes off screen, and I know they're chronologically in order because they reference past episodes in some episodes. But it still bugs me a little. Because it's like, what? When did you're destroying people's houses now? Two, it's lame because they set up this whole Legend of Solomon Grundy and kind of hype him up a little, and then the twist is just, he's Clayface. Like, okay, I could have guessed that. You know, it would be much more interesting if it was actually Solomon Grundy. And then Bruce would have to eat his words a little, so it would be fun, because he was so skeptical of the legend of Solomon Grundy. Which makes no sense. Whenever they have Bruce being the skeptical one, I'm like, what the fuck? Because this guy's seen it all at this point. And then later there's an alien fucking invasion. He doesn't question it for a second. So yeah, this one I'm not a huge fan of, but the fighting was cool, and like his plan to pretend to be Solomon Grundy made sense. But I just didn't. I don't like any episodes that portray Clayface as a pure bad guy. At least not Ethan Bennett Clayface. So this one I'm not a huge fan. Strange Minds. This is the one where they go in the Joker's mind. This one is fine. It's kind of like there's a part where they go into Batman's mind, and they could have done so much with that. Like that should have the episode should have been way longer. They should have spent way more time in Batman's mind and explored it a little more. But it's literally for a matter of seconds. It's just the final thing. The only real thing Batman does to fuck with the Joker, after the Joker's been psychologically torturing him in his mind for the entire episode, the only thing Batman does is he summons a bat. It's just like, okay, buddy, we get it. Yeah, this is the season 2 finale, the end of an era for this show, the end of the Yin era of this show. And Yin is such a cool character. It's really a shame that she literally never shows up again after this episode. Like, I get it. They wanted to bring in Robin and Batgirl for the toys, for the kiddies. But the fact that Yin, I think she only ever gets mentioned, so much as mentioned one time. And it's like, it's fine if she stops being Batman's partner after this, but she should at least show up sometimes to help out, or like, they should at least mention her. Like, that's just disrespect. That's one thing this show did, is that they gave characters entire arcs, and then they never show up again after their arc is concluded. Which is fun for some characters, for others, makes no sense. But the episode itself is really fun. Another great fight at the end, where Batman 3... I have to just show you. Yeah, I have to just fucking show you, dude. I guess we better have another YouTube tab on deck. Like, where he 3v1s the Joker, Riddler, and Penguin, and I mostly just need you to see, like, how on go this man Bruce Will. God fucking damn it. I just mostly need you to see how on go this man's Bruce was. Like, I need you to see how locked in he was, because you know how he likes to sneak. You know how he likes to sneak usually and, like, use the stealth tactics and stuff. But look at this clip. Dude, he's not playing around. You want me? Here I am. Look at how on go he was, bro. And then they square up to him. Holy shit. Nah, this episode is raw, bro. I like this episode a lot. Look at this. Oh, and this is one of the last times they used his season 1 and 2 theme, which is fucking amazing. I forgot to mention how good the music in this show was. They used it a lot. Sometimes they used it a little, like, it's kind of loud. Like, over what's happening in the episode. I could only, like, think about the music. But, like, the music is so good. So it doesn't even bother. Batgirl has an amazing thing. Alright, we're getting there. So this is the Batgirl 2-parter. And this episode is pretty amazing. This is a nostalgic episode for me, because I'm pretty sure this is the first episode I ever watched of the show. I was like 6 or 7 when I watched it the first time. And this is another one where they really reinvent a character's origin story to be nothing like the original, which is Poison Ivy this time. And I think it works. I think that aging her down and giving her... Because they kept the eco-terrorism thing, but she's really different. Other than the eco-terrorism thing, she's just like a teenager. The only real plot hole is, where the fuck is she getting all this money to pay this assassin guy? But he was cool, and his fights with Batman were cool, so it was okay. And then her actually turning into Poison Ivy, and that being kind of paralleled with Barbara becoming Batgirl. It was all fun. I like this version of Batgirl. I like this version of Poison Ivy. And it was really fucking fun, the final fight, where it was the two of them working together for the first time versus Poison Ivy. And Barbara kind of proved her worth a little bit. Also, a lot of people don't like that they brought in Batgirl before Robin on the show. And the reason is because they didn't want 2 versions of Robin around, so they had to wait for the Teen Titans show, which was airing still at the time, to wrap up before they brought on Robin. But I think, other than the meta reason, I actually like Batgirl showing up first because Batman is very hesitant to accept her as his like true sidekick. So it gives him time to accept the idea of taking on a sidekick before Robin shows up, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna make this one my protege." And then the dynamic between Robin and Batgirl after he shows up is really fun. So this episode is great. It also introduces her theme to which every time that Sting plays, I'm popping off. Here's the one where Bruce forgets he's Batman. This one's fine. It's fun. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's the first episode where after her origin, where Batgirl gets to do stuff. She does not show up in every episode this season, which I thought was fine. But this one, she does show up and she does stuff, and she gets damseled, not for the last time. And that final scene where he remembers he's Batman, and then he handles the Penguin and the Kabuki twins in like a matter of seconds is really cool. When his theme starts playing, it's really hype. Fistful of Felt. This is the one where they give him the fucking Muppet so he calms down. This one is kind of weird. This one's it's like a somehow really child friendly and really fucking dark at the same time, because it's exploring this guy that was such a deep psychological disorder that he can't function in normal society. But the vessel for that is, well, let me just fucking show you. Oh shit. Let me just fucking show you. Let's see. Oh, they don't have the... Where's the fucking... Hang on. What was the name of the stupid ass... the puppet. Yeah, this fucking guy. Look at this motherfucker. Mr. Snoots, that was it. Look at this motherfucker. And they give him like a Kermit the Frog voice. Like, nah, it's impossible to take this serious. But it was fun. Like, look at this goofy ass show, man. They knew how to have fun with some of these episodes, while also being really dark at times. That's why the show is special. They embrace like the goofy kid friendliness of like Silver Age aspects, as well as it could be dark when I wanted to, and it didn't feel too jarring. RPM, this is the Gearhead episode where the Batmobile gets destroyed and we get the better Batmobile. Let me show you. Like the season 1, yeah, here's the season 3 onward Batmobile. Here's the season 1 and 2 Batmobile. Don't get me wrong, the season 1 and 2 Batmobile is fine, but this one, yeah, this is one of my favorite Batmobile designs just ever. Like, and even the toy looks fire. Oh my god, thank god I didn't see that as a kid. I would have purchased that shit. And then look at this toy. It's not as good, okay? Oh, this is a Lego. Nah, this shit was cool. The Batmobile designs were cool on the show. So this one's fine otherwise. I mean, Gearhead is kind of whatever. And it's just a lot of like driving scenes, which I don't know. So I don't really care. Okay. Brawn, this is the one where Joker steals Bane's venom and becomes Bane. This one's fine. I don't know. It's kind of fucking... kind of dumb. Kind of really dumb. Batgirl gets to show off. That's the only takeaway from this episode. Batman is the one getting rescued for once, which I actually liked. But it's a weird for this show because it really is just setting up for a fight, and then most of the rest of the episode is just one big fight. Like, they fight the Joker in the city in daytime. And then they fight then there's a commercial break, and then they fight at the carnival, and that's it. That's the whole episode. They just fight him. I don't know, kind of a lame Joker episode, really. Like, usually you'd think the Joker would have a much crazier plan with Bane's venom than just basically doing the exact same thing Bane did with the venom, except it's the Joker this time. But at least he's not as boring as Bane. Bane is pretty boring. Let's see. This is... Oh, yes. This is the one where they go to the island with the obvious, the most dangerous game reference. And there's the crazy-ass maze, and they're trying to rescue the cats. This one is fine. Seeing Batgirl and Catwoman interact was surprisingly, like, really fun. And I kind of wish we got more of it. They kind of tease like Catwoman actually likes Batgirl, is taking a shine to her, but never goes anywhere. And then they don't use Catwoman that much after this episode, so it's a shame. Also, another fucking Joker episode. See what I mean? Back to back Joker episodes. Didn't need to have this many. Fleur de Mal. This is the one where Batman punches an old lady in the face so hard her skull caves in. Other than that, it's pretty whatever. It's the second Poison Ivy episode. The main draw had nothing to do with Poison Ivy. It was about them finding their doppelgangers, which was pretty fun actually. Especially when the doppelgangers just said fucking and started using their Poison Ivy as plant powers. But this begins a trend of Poison Ivy showing up in the show and not using her mind control stuff at every opportunity. Because, man, Poison Ivy, I know you wanted to put them in the dream, whatever the fuck that was, but just mind control them. You know, they can't do it. The only reason Batman broke free of it the first time was because Batgirl was there to help him. If you just mind control both of them, why don't you just mind control everybody that's your enemy? It's a kid's show, that's why. So the villains have to be a little dumb. But this one, even as a kid, it bothered the shit out of me. Because first appearance, she was mind controlling everybody. She mind controlled Batman first opportunity. This one, it's like, why are you putting them in the pod? Like, why don't you just mind control them and be done with it? It's not that serious. This is the one where they have the not Toyman guy, Cosmo Crank. And this is the one where Cash tickets and gets to actually do stuff. And it's actually pretty fun. He's funny. Very kid show character, especially with his voice. I like it. It's funny. No real complaints. Yeah. But nothing crazy, though. This isn't one of the best episodes or anything. It's just fun. I like Cosmo Crank's weird ass. Like, look at this motherfucker. Let's just show you him. Oh, no. You didn't see that. Look at this fucking guy, dude. So funny. Oh, they brought him back in Gotham? I'm still not gonna watch Gotham. Sorry, guys. There's no force on this earth that could make me watch Gotham. The Apprentice. This is the one where the Joker gets his own apprentice. Not Harley Quinn, by the way. It's a kid apprentice. And this one is fun. I actually like how they show... It's kind of... I love when the Joker is proven wrong. Whenever he talks about, oh, everybody's just like me at their core. And then he gets proven wrong. And this is a great example of that, where it's just like he sees a kid that he sees as a kindred spirit. He's like, oh, if I just push him in the right direction, he'll end up just like me. And then in the end, the kid proves him wrong, and it's a feel-good thing. And I like how Barbara legitimately wants to help him, not just take him down. Whoa, that got loud. Like, she legitimately, as soon as she realizes it's somebody from her class, she's like, we have to help him. Like, Barbara's characterization was pretty good in the show. A lot of people find her annoying, and I get it. She can be annoying, but mostly fine. Especially the pre-Robin era, when she was just, like, basically trying to force being the sidekick. Anyway, this is the Maxi Zeus episode, and this one is great. A lot of Star Wars references, like, way more Star Wars references than I revealed. They used, like, Batman's fucking Batwing is just a starfighter in this show. And they know it, and they have fun with it, so. And then the final fight, Batgirl gets to really look good in this episode. Like, he would not have been able to do it without her. And it shows, because after this, he starts being a little more accepting of her. I like that. And then, oh wait, we're getting there. And then, as she finally proves that she deserves to be his sidekick. And then she doesn't show up again for the rest of the season. So that was the most insulting shit. They have that whole scene about like, oh, I'm your real sidekick now, when he gives her the stuff. And it's like, oh, I'm in the fold or whatever. Like, no, not really though. Like, not really. Okay. Next, the Icy Depths. This is the one where the British guy... This is the one with the British guy. This one's pretty fun. The final fight is fun, and it has a fun, like, treasure hunting element to it, like some Uncharted stuff where they gotta find, like, the catacombs or whatever. This one's fun. No real complaints about this one. And then we've arrived. The one where he gets packed up by a guy named Dave. Dude, let's just play the clip. Because when I say Batman did not land a single blow on this man Dave for 22 minutes, 22 painful minutes. Look at this unit, bro. When I say for 22 excruciating minutes, this guy was getting absolutely handled by Dave. I am not kidding. And this episode. Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, just start fighting, bro. This video is already gonna be like 2 hours. There you go. Like, look at this shit, bro. This is not okay. Like, this was a violation by Dave. I don't think he lands a hit. I legitimately don't think he lands a single hit. Imagine fighting that fucking thing, though. And he's talking shit the whole time. I would shit my pants and cry. Yeah, no, he gets handled. Like, it's really rough.
Why are you doing this? Can you say why? Why do you dress like a bat?
Like,
Why do you fight
it's so funny,
Why do
bro.
we do anything, Batman?
He's talking shit the whole time.
I do because I have made it my purpose, like you have made it yours to stop me. But shall fail trying.
Yes. Okay, so just imagine that, but for an entire episode length, more of that energy. That was. Wait, who the fuck told you to autoplay? That's the Dave episode. It's really fucking fun. It's Batman going up against an unstoppable supercomputer guy that can outthink everything he does and predicts all of his actions and is like basically invincible. Until they ass pull beat him in the last minute in a stupid ass way, which I won't even talk about. But yeah, he gets packed up by a guy named Dave next season. The Robin introduction episode. This version of Robin is great, okay? I was headcanon that this was actually a secret prequel to Teen Titans, and it was the same Robin. That can't be possible for a few reasons that I won't get into, but it's a fun headcanon, and it's a fun origin for him. They got Kevin Conroy to play Rich Grayson, and Mark Hamill to play Tony Zuko. It's just perfect casting on both counts, and it's just a great way to bring Robin into the show, and no real complaints. Team Penguin, this one is great. This is also the first time Batgirl and Robin meet each other, and this is when Batman decides to like officially bring Batgirl in. So he has two official sidekicks now, and it's fun. It's great. They team up. Killer Moth is there. Look at this motherfucker, bro. Yes, he gets two goofball asses on his. He gets. Oh shit, he looks wrong. What? He gets the classic, which looks terrible, and then he gets the actual Killer Moth form, which looks pretty scary. Here they are side by side. But you know, fun episode. I wish Killer Moth showed up ever again after this. He's never even mentioned. It's kind of weird. Clay faces. Yes, this is the final episode for Ethan Bennett. Pretty sure he never even shows up again after this. This is the one where Basil Carlo becomes the second Clayface, and Ethan Bennett wants to help him take him down, but Batman's like, I don't know, Chief. Maybe we don't need you on this one. And then in the end, they both get cured, but it's revealed Basil Carlo actually didn't get cured somehow, which is stupid because then he just barely shows up again after that, except for one episode, which we'll talk about. So yeah, this is pretty good. This is a good conclusion for Ethan's character, and it's implied that he does get back on his feet, even though we never see him again. It's implied he does get back on his feet and become a cop again like he wanted. So good for him, you know. Good for him. The Everywhere Man. Okay, I just want to say I think season 4 is the best season. Do you notice how so far we're 4 for 4 with banger episodes? The Everywhere Man is just such a fun episode. Like, there's so many fun twists, like with the identity of who the Everywhere Man is and stuff. And then the fight, when they have like the army of just a billion trillion Everywhere Men versus the Robins. Robin started using the prototype, so he has a bunch of clones running around, and it's just complete pandemonium. That is an amazing fight. That is such a fun fight. And I don't think season 4 has any real misses, so let's just continue the train. The Breakout, yes. This is the Black Mask one. This one is fucking great. This is the Robin. This is not a Batman episode. This is a Robin and Batgirl episode, and showing how they handle things when Batman's not around. and they get shit done. This version of Black Mask is also fine. He kind of looks goofy since he's always talking about like, oh, I'm the most serious, and then he gets packed up by Batgirl and Robin in like 35 seconds at one point. Like it's pretty embarrassing. After talking about, oh, don't make me hurt you. Like, okay, Black Mask, chill. But the thing about Black Mask that's cool in the show wasn't him. It was his crazy ass organization. Like he's the only proper crime boss villain on the show, and the way he just summons an army like at a snap of his finger to come bail him out of jail, and they have to deal with that. And the fighting is amazing in this episode. That's two back-to-back episodes with just amazing fighting. Strange New World, these zombies episode. This is top 3. This episode is top 3. This episode has fucking everything. Like it's just so fun and also horrifying to see every single character you care about besides Batman become infected with and turn into zombies until the only one left is Batman. Like this had amazing fights as well. Like the zombie Gotham police. First of all, this is the only episode where the Gotham police look competent, and it's after they got turned into zombies trying to stop Batman and Robin. Is that not crazy? The zombie Gotham police versus Batman and Robin on the roof is amazing. Zombie Batgirl was fun. I liked how they revealed that before the episode even started, she got turned into a zombie. And the twist ending of this episode, I will not spoil it, but it is one of the most clever twists in the show. They actually set it up perfectly because all the hints were there. For the entire episode, you knew that something was off about the situation. Besides that entirety of Gotham turning to zombies part. So yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 episode for me. I loved everything about it. And the only thing is, when I was a kid watching this episode legitimately scared the fucking shit out of me. Like, this is too much for young kids, some of this imagery with the zombies. But, you know, I could watch it now and be fine. Mostly. I only peed a little. Artifacts. The Flash Forward episode. One line for the synopsis, and that's all you need. Mr. Freeze literally in this episode says the line, "The Dark Knight returns." Yeah, this episode is gas. First of all, we gotta look at this Batman design. Yep. It's the Dark Knight Returns Batman. He's much wider than he's ever been, but they really went for it, and I think it actually works. Like, for the art style of this show, like, yes, he's really wide and it looks kind of goofy, but other than that, like, I like the defined chin, and I just like everything about this episode, really. It's fun. I like the far future flash forwards where we see, like, the legacy of the Batman, like, 1,000 years after Gotham's gone. Just genuinely great episodes. So 2 of the best episodes of the show back to back. And we're 7 for 7. Season 4 does not miss. Seconds, another amazing one. This is the one with the guy who just looks like... Hey, let me show you. What is the guy's even name? I don't even remember his name because he doesn't have a villain name. Yeah, it's just a white guy. So, this fucking guy packs up Batman. And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? How did Batman lose to this guy? Because he has a gut, too. Like, I can't find a good image of it, but he has a gut as well. So, yeah, here it is. Like, look at him. He's not in good shape, but he's destroying Batman, Robin, and Batgirl all at the same time. So they're like, what the fuck is going on? And it's revealed that he can actually rewind time by a few seconds. So he can redo the fight as many times as he needs to until he wins. And I won't say that much more about it because I think it's worth watching for yourself. I'll say this guy is fucking stupid. Like, I don't know how his motivation goes. I don't know, like, how his motivations justify his plan, okay? Because he wants to destroy Gotham, spoiler alert. But nothing about his motivations or his origin story justify wanting to destroy Gotham. Like, if anything, he should want to take revenge on a few very specific people. Why are you getting all these innocent people involved? But man, this episode is great, man. This episode has so much going for it. And, like, another one where the ending is perfect, basically. I love this episode. Riddler's Revenge. Oh my god. This is definitely a top 3 episode. Season 4, man, it just does not miss. So this is the Riddler origin story episode, and this is the best origin for any version of any Riddler. They pretty much captured perfectly a guy who always had the potential to be bad with amazing intellect, but he always had the potential to be bad, but he wanted to be good. He desperately wanted to be good, and this cruel ass world and the friends he had the friends he made, just wouldn't let him. And he gets betrayed, and it's just so heartbreaking. And that ending, man, that ending is so sad. He did not deserve that. So I am a big fan of this one. Two of a Kind. This is the Harley Quinn episode. This is actually a really smart way to reimagine Harley. Let's show you her, because her design is kind of whatever. This is actually a really good reimagining for Harley Quinn. Because the thing for Harley Quinn for me was, like, she's too dumb to be a real psychiatrist, right? She is too fucking dumb to be a real psychiatrist. But in this show, they reimagine her as a Dr. Phil-esque TV psychiatrist. And I'm like, holy shit, that's perfect. Because it's like, how are you a real psychiatrist, but you don't see the obvious manipulation tactics by the Joker? Not to mention the fact that after she becomes Harley Quinn, she's just crazy and dumb. And we kind of forget she has a psychology degree. That's another thing the Harley Quinn show did amazingly well. They didn't forget how Harley's supposed to be smart and a good psychiatrist. They actually kept that version, but that's a show that entirely focuses on her. But in this show, they say, you know what, she's not a real psychiatrist. She's fucking Dr. Phil. She doesn't have a real degree. She has a fucking online degree that she thinks just, and she's terrible at it too. Like, that's the whole plot before the Joker shows up. Her show's about to be canceled because she's nuts and gives people terrible advice. So of course, if everybody's telling you you're not a real psychiatrist, if the Joker shows up and is willing to hear you out and validate you, yeah, that'll do it, man. It makes perfect sense. It's one of my favorite reimaginings of her character. Not that I have a real big problem with the classic origin story. I just think that part of it is dumb, and this explains that away. So the only real problem with Harley Quinn on the show is she's very underutilized after her debut. She only has a speaking appearance in a few episodes. And later season 4 and 5 is where they really start milking the we're just going to have the villains show up without speaking thing. So they don't have to pay the voice actors. Wait, written by Paul Dini. What? Holy shit, Paul Dini. You outdone yourself again. Wait, how many of these episodes are written by Paul Dini? This one? No, just this one. Alright. Bet. It came out great. Rumors. Another fucking banger one. It's just consistently bangers. This is the one where the vigilante guy who could turn invisible captures every single villain in Gotham. And then Batman and Robin have to stop him, and it's really hard because he has the invisibility shit. Then they figure out he's a guy named Mario. So yeah, Batman gets packed up by a guy named Mario, as well as Dave. And they figure out how to stop his invisibility. Batman beats him in 4 seconds, but then, well, maybe I just show you. Maybe I just show you. I'm sure if I type Batman and Robin vs. everyone, it'll show up. Yep. Yeah. Oh, fuck off. Remind me to install uBlock on this fucking browser. Yeah. Look at this shit, man. Everybody. Everybody, man. And only a few of them speak for the reason I already mentioned, but I love that line. Look at this shit, man. I think pretty sure it's every single villain who showed up on the show. The only thing is, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but who the fuck is this random black guy next to Penguin? This is a generic guy. Why was he captured? He's just a normal one. And can we just talk about how on go Robin is? Like, he's not scared at all. He's on go. He's ready for this shit. Do I just play the entire fight? It's so good. I'm not gonna play the entire fight. Just know that Robin solos Bane in this fight. Robin humiliates Bane in this fight. The same Bane that beat Batman in his first appearance gets handled by Robin. Bane went out sorry in this show. Because then he doesn't really have that many major appearances after this one. Okay, so that one's fire. Then we get the finale, the two-parter. This one is fine. Martian Manhunter was fun. The joining is boring. And we'll get to them more later. I just thought the thread about Batman not wanting to work on a team is kind of random. because it is a very classic Batman thing. The whole like he doesn't want to work with other people because he's afraid. He wants to keep everybody arm's length. That's Batman, yeah, but it kind of comes out of nowhere on the show just because he was working so, and it's an episodic show, so it makes sense. But it kind of comes out of nowhere. It doesn't really work for me. And then by the end of the episode, he's just completely over it anyway. It like borders on out of character because he starts being really emo about it. Like they show up to help him, and he's like, "I told you not to come here." Like that would make sense for like Tim versus Batman or Arkham Batman. That's exactly something those versions of the character would do. But this version of the character, I don't know, felt a little weird. And I kind of just felt like once they started bringing in the more powerful villains and the other superheroes onto the show, it got kind of weird. Because it started to feel like they needed to contrive more and more reasons for Batman to actually show up in his own episodes. But we'll get to that in season 5, because season 5 is the team up season. Season 4 is decidedly the best season, in my opinion. There's pretty much no misses out of 13 episodes. And it's just fire. And it's the first episode of the first season to prominently feature Robin. It's fire. I don't know. Enough said. Season 5, final season. The Batman Superman story. It's a fun story. I like the inversion of like Superman being the one that needs to be convinced to work on a team, since it's usually Batman. But he actually developed. That's the thing about this show. Characters, as time passes as the show goes on. Like when we meet Batgirl, she's 15. But then in this season, it's mentioned that she started college now. So that's at least 3 years. Time passes, characters develop, dynamics change. So that development Batman went through at the end of season 4 finale, where he learns how important it is to work as a team. It doesn't get undone here. He actually tries to pass those lessons on to Superman, and that's probably my favorite thing about this episode. Other than the fact that Robin is low-key the MVP, even though they're up against fucking Superman, he's putting in so much goddamn work. I love that. I love that for him. And other than that, it's just fun seeing Superman villains on the show. Lex Luthor, voiced by Clancy Brown. I mean, you can't go wrong. And yeah, nothing more to say about this one. Next is the Green Arrow episode. This is the worst team up episode by a lot. Lamest villain, Count Vertigo. Did not like him. Green Arrow. I don't love this version of Green Arrow. He's like quippy. He's like somewhere between like Arrow, Green Arrow, where he's just basically a fucking Batman ripoff, and that classic Green Arrow where he's like really quippy. He's somewhere in between that, and it leads to this like dry, sarcastic kind of quips that just are kind of not fun to be around. It's like that friend you hang out with that thinks they're being really funny, but actually they're just being kind of mean and rude. That's Green Arrow on this show, man. He says shit which is like sounds like funny. It's just like sounds like it's supposed to be funny, but it's just kind of rude. So I don't love him. This is the Phosphorus episode. This one is crazy. This is the most powerful villain Batman soloed in this show. Well, he didn't solo because Batgirl and Robin were there, but you know what I mean. Like he didn't team up with a Justice League member to beat him. And I like his heat blast looking ass. I like his design a lot. It was fun seeing it. It was tragic. Like he became kind of a tragic character in this one because he's just a small time thief. Then he gets this godlike power, and his new girlfriend is like, "Dude, we gotta reel it in a little." And he's getting carried away, and he eventually pushes her away. Even though I'm not gonna say he always cared about her, but it's clear that he cared about her at one point, and like, jeez, kind of a tragic figure. Then there's the Flash team up episode. This one is fun. This version of Flash is kind of fucking annoying. The Flash is always a character that's hard to balance between funny and annoying. And this one, they kind of missed it a little. He's kind of annoying. But nothing like unbearable. Just like, just tone it down, Wally or Barry. We never actually find out if it's supposed to be Wally or Barry. He gives me Wally vibes, though. And seeing them fight the mirror images was fun. Then Joker episode. So this season was all team ups and Joker episodes, with a few exceptions. But this one was fun. This one was fine. seeing them actually figuring out what Joker's plan was, and then when they actually go into the Gotham subway, crazy railway system, it's fun. Nothing more to say about that one. Ring Toss is the Green Lantern episode, and you know what? I remember liking this one a lot more as a kid because that scene where Batman becomes the Green Lantern for a few minutes is really sick. But I remembered it being way longer because it's really like 40 to 60 seconds. He's the Green Lantern and he doesn't really do anything with the ring. Like he shoots one attack at Sinestro and then the ring runs out of power and he just has to run away. It's still cool to see it, but it was, whatever. And then seeing Penguin with the ring was really fun, especially when it makes that vacuum cleaner and he starts sucking everything up. Pause. But the one thing is, missed opportunity. The Green Lantern ring is supposed to transform your clothes as well as give you the powers of Green Lantern. And they don't do anything with that. Like, imagine Batman with a Green Lantern hybrid suit. That would have been a really cool image. That would have made this episode way more memorable. And Penguin could have gotten something too. Something fun. Since he wore the ring for most of the episode. And then Sinestro was just boring, but, whatever. His voice was cool. Then another Joker episode. This is the one where he gets downloaded into a nanobot Joker. And then the nanobot Joker and the regular Joker kind of feud a little. But it's kind of just like, there's no stopping this guy. And this one, I only really like this one because it shows you, like, if the Joker had... Like, this show really liked giving the Joker superpowers. Like, you notice how it keeps happening? And every fucking time they give the Joker superpowers, they're like, yeah, if this guy had powers, like, he's already a threat as it is, but he would be an absolute menace and be unstoppable. And this is the episode that hammers that in the most, because the nanobot Joker, right up until the last 40 seconds of the episode, is a force of fucking nature. He even tries to destroy his own team because he gets bored with them. So fun episode. No complaints. Attack of the Terrible Trio. Holy shit. This is the one where Man-Bat gets randomly reformed, which I don't really care either way. I don't care what they do with that fucking character. And the Terrible... I'm just impressed that they went for some corny villains like Cluemaster, Wrath and Scorn, Terrible Trio. Like, these villains that nobody's heard of. I'm surprised Egghead didn't show up. And they went for it. And they reimagined him to actually kind of... I'm not going to say cool, but they reimagined him in a way that makes sense for the show. Let's peep them. And don't get me wrong, I don't really like, because usually they're just guys who wear animal masks. This one they got reimagined to actual animals, and their plan is to turn everybody else into animals. Yeah, actually it's kind of dumb, but cooler than the fucking animal masks. And I actually have a theory about this one. I think this might be chronologically the last episode in the show. I know I said the episodes are in chronological order generally, but because of the stated ages of Robin and Batgirl in the series finale, and the fact that Batgirl is in this is also another interesting about this one. This is the only episode where after Robin's introduction where Batgirl shows up and Robin does not show up. So those two things lead me to two conclusions. This one takes place far ahead in the timeline because Batgirl's older than she should be in the finale, based off dialogue we hear. And the reason why Robin is not there is because he's already left to be Nightwing at this point. Now, this is complete headcanon, but I think that's just a cool theory, And it would be funny if this was technically, like, chronologically the finale. It was the fucking Terrible Trio episode. I think that's funny. So I'm going with that. I think it makes a lot of sense, too. I'll explain when we get to the finale. The end of the Batman. This is the Wrath and Scorn episode. This one is honestly better than I remember. This might be one of the better episodes of the show. Like, Wrath and Scorn's, like, motivation is fucking dumb, but they're supposed to be inverse Batman. They're supposed to be, basically, if you don't know who Wrath and Scorn are, they are Batman and Robin, but for criminals. So you can see how their designs echo Batman and Robin's. They help criminals. The only reason they say they're dumb is because there's a scene where they help the Joker escape from Batman and Robin, and they say the Joker's just trying to make an honest living like everyone else after the Joker just was like murdering people on the stage, or I'm sorry, destroying people on the stage because it's a kid's show and we can't say die. So that was fucking stupid. But the fighting was sick in this episode. Batman and Wrath squaring off was cool, and Robin and Scorn had a fun dynamic of just two kids around the same age who have a fun rivalry and just can't stand each other. You know, we've all been there. We've all been in one end of that dynamic where they just are talking mad trash to each other and can't stand each other. And I like the fact that their hero or their good guy alter. I like they sell you on the idea that Wrath is Batman's equal in this episode until he gets laid out at the end. But you know, that's just the show. But the fact that Bruce and Wrath figure out each other's identities around the same time, it's a great moment. It's like, damn, this guy's actually as smart as Batman. They really went for it. They made him the inverse Batman. So yeah, this one's pretty great. I like this one a lot, actually. Might be the best episode in the season. This is the Hawkman episode. Whatever. Hawkman is lame. His voice is cool, but he is lame. Shadow Thief is cool and cooler than Hawkman. And Robin getting the anti-grav and like fighting on the walls and ceiling was cooler than anything Hawkman did in his own episode. Hawkman is the only Justice League member that has like almost no speaking appearances. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even speak for the entire part 1 of the finale. So you could tell they didn't care, and I don't care either. The finale. It's an okay finale. It's really not the best way this show could have ended. It just feels weird to end this show with a Justice League story. At least Batgirl and Robin get to play a big part in it, but it is a Justice League story, not a Batman story. And I did not like that about it. I liked the idea that showing off how the non-powered heroes are just as useful to the League. You know, that's always fun. And they did it well enough. They did a good job. The only thing is the final fight. There is a part where the joining for the final antagonist of the show just feels wrong. And Hugo Strange is random too, because he wasn't really that big of a player in the show. Although, when he did show up, the episodes were usually gas, to be honest. But he wasn't that big of a player on the show, so for him and the joining to be the final antagonist felt weird. You can kind of tell they didn't plan for the show to end here, because there were plans for further seasons, but for whatever reason, they never came out. And the final fight of the show was the joining gets a drone robot, and an accident happens, and it gets all the powers of the Justice League. They never state that it has all the powers of the Justice League, but we see it use Green Lantern's powers and Flash's powers. So we can just assume it has everybody's powers. And it's Batman and Robin versus a robot with all the powers of the entire fucking Justice League. So that should be a really cool fight, right? But it kind of just goes how you expect. They get handled. I mean, Batman can't do anything. Batman's final attack in his final fight of the show. Should I just find it? Yeah, I think I just have to show you. Joining. Final. I think I just have to show you, man. Oh, fuck. I'm not even going to be able to find it because nobody cares enough to upload this shit. Justice League versus joining the last battle. This sounds... Oh. I'm seeing that tomorrow. Uh-oh. Did I just dox when this video was actually recorded? Because I'm probably not going to release it for a few days. Here we go. Here we go. So this is it. It's the final fight of the series. Batman and Robin versus a robot with all the powers of the Justice League. Let's just watch how it plays out. Oh, wait. Fuck. This is after.
We need to talk personal boundaries after this.
You're so funny, Barbara. Here we go. Like, this should have... Like, wouldn't it be cool if they had some kind of game plan to fight this thing? But they just throw batarangs at it. Use the Flash's powers. Batman's knocked out already. Robin, I respect the heart, but you're getting knocked out too. Wait, can we say he's dead after that? He has Superman's strength. He's getting Dragon Ball Z. And this is the part that's kind of embarrassing. This is just kind of embarrassing. This is the last thing Batman does in his show. The show that's titled for him. This man saw what it did to Robin and him. And wait, no way. No way, they skipped it. Oh, here we... No, they skipped it, bro. Oh, fuck. I'm just after this. God damn it, this edit. Fuck, you're making me look goofy now. I'll just describe it. So, at that scene where Batman has that look on his face like he's on go, and then he starts running towards him, what happens after this scene is he runs toward it after seeing that it has all the powers of Justice League and seeing what it did to him and Robin. And he tries to kick this thing. He does a flying kick, which gets deflected. And then the way they beat it is Batgirl presses a button. Presses a button and all the joining stuff gets turned off. And that's it. That's the final fight of the Batman 2004. Is that not lame? Like, think about like what a final Batman battle would be like. Him versus Joker in a clash of intellect, or like maybe Two-Face and Scarecrow never showed up on the show. That's another big problem. With Two-Face, I can forgive it since Ethan Bennett basically takes that role in the show. But with Scarecrow, nah, they could have made Scarecrow amazing on this fucking show, and they just didn't. So, not too keen on that finale, but it doesn't ruin the show or anything. Really wish we got to see, like, because I'm pretty sure there were plans to bring Wonder Woman on, and, like, shit, man, it could have been something special. I would have loved to see an actual, like, Robin getting fed up and leaving to become Nightwing arc. That's always fun to see. So, yeah, not the greatest finale, but it was fun. They got to look a little good in the end. Batman, I can't believe Batman went out sorry in his own fucking show. That's the only thing. He absolutely went out sorry. Like, he barely even stalled that thing. If Batgirl is the MVP of that shit, she pushed the button. That's more than Batman and Robin did combined. Okay, and finally, the movie. I just rewatched this one yesterday, and it's pretty fucking fire. I don't know if it's the best thing this show ever did, but it's so much darker than anything else this show put out, both visually and just tonally. The visuals are incredible in this movie. I love what they did with Dracula, and this movie is dark compared to the rest of the show. Like, people die, there's blood, there's a vampire army threatening Gotham, and it's as dark as it sounds. You have to remember, keep in mind, this is a show where blood never shows up or is mentioned, because kids show. And there's a scene in this movie where a vampirized version of the Joker bathes in blood. That visual alone blew my mind so hard as a kid, because we haven't even seen a drop of blood before this movie, and now it's fucking everywhere. And it's not just dark for that reason. It's also just like the contents are dark. It's like it's very similar in premise to the Zombies episode, where all of Gotham is infected and only Batman can help them. Except this one isn't. Well, I don't want to spoil this was the Zombies episode, but this time it's much worse. And Dracula himself, he's kind of boring, but his characterization is on point for just a pure evil, like not sympathetic version of Dracula. And of course, we have to talk about the final fight between Batman. And we gotta say, every fight scene in this movie was incredible. Anytime Batman fought vampires, it's some of the best fighting in the show. It's just the best fighting in the show. Okay, this is the best fighting the show ever fucking gave us. Whew. Oh, I didn't know this. An intended sequel. Oh, fuck no. I can't believe we didn't get that. This also was the only one where Bruce had a girlfriend that he was serious about, Vicky Vale. I can't believe she was never mentioned after this one. This one has to take place between season 2 and 3. No doubt. And I can't believe she was never mentioned again. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about why the Terrible Trio is chronologically the last one. It's because in this part, Robin mentions still being in middle school, which that's impossible for him to still be in middle school, because Barbara talks about being in college in the Terrible Trio episode. So either Robin's lying for some reason about being still in middle school. Yeah, so he would have to be at least like 15 or 16, high school age in America, if 3 years passed since the Batgirl episode. I guess the passage of time isn't like that clear, but like no. he can't be still be in middle school. He's got to be at least 14 or 15 by that point if Barbara's in college. So either he's lying or she's not in college yet, which makes me feel like this might be chronologically before the Terrible Trio. So that's my pointless fan theory that literally changes absolutely nothing about the viewing experience of the show. But let's just watch, because this is not chronologically the finale, but if we just watch the last scene, like, Batman went out so sorry in the finale of his own show. We just need to redeem him with this fucking scene. Like, anytime Batman and Dracula fought was amazing. They really made it, sold you on the fact that Dracula was just not like a higher being. Batman could not deal with him until this moment, bro. One of the rawest lines in any Batman media. You know what? You can quote me on that shit. I might just let it play.
You are Bruce Wayne.
I'm the Batman. And you're dust.
Like, are you kidding me? Come on, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? He did break his no-killing rule. He also broke his no-killing rule when he killed Dave. You could get away with anything if it was robots. A fucking 2000s era kids show, man. Or just any kids show, really. He did break his no-killing rule by killing Batman, but by killing Dracula, rather. But, that was raw, so we'll let it slide. So yeah, that was a review of every episode of the Batman 2004. This show is so underrated, man. This show is genuinely, like, the average quality of the episodes. Like, the bad episodes are just whatever, and the good episodes are, like, great. They're right up there with some of my favorite Batman media. I'm not even kidding. I wish I went on a slightly better note, because the finale was fine. It wasn't terrible. It's like I said, the worst episodes of the show are just meh, and it was just meh. But man, imagine if this show went out on a truly outstanding note. Maybe that would have redeemed it in the minds of the people a little. Maybe we'd still hear people besides me talking about it. But I just wanted to make this just to see how it would go over. This is so long. This is the longest video I ever made. So yeah. And if this one gets viewed for some reason, I'll make more. But my throat needs a rest now. So I'm a dip. This was fun to make. I love this show. I loved rewatching it, and I loved talking about it. And these are fun to make. So if people want to see more, I'll make more. So thanks for watching, and later.